Catican. It's starting.
Wait, right now?
Yeah.
All right, switch. Get in the water. I need the plank. Do you have your phone? I'm not missing the intro.
This is better than that time Kentucky finally fired Mark Stoops. I'm free.
And then the little elf, Pat Kelsey, wished to one day grow to the size of a real boy.
Sir, Kentucky hired Stein. They're popping off again.
Get me to the White House. Is that?
Yes! It's live! It's live! It starts!
Will Stein is here to feed the studs, and as you can see, these studs have been eating good. Go to the Catican merch store, link in the description.
I'm telling you, Santa, it's what they want more than anything.
You're sure? Ben, Raph, and Caleb all want this?
I wouldn't lie to you, Santa. They were just too afraid to ask.
Okay, if you say so.
It's the Catican, baby!
It's the Catican. Kentucky loses 67-67, 64 to North Carolina. This sucks, and I don't want to talk about it, but somehow we've pigeonholed ourselves into having to do so. So, fellas, how we feeling?
Whose idea was this show? I don't like this either. I don't want to talk about it.
It was a bad idea. The show was a mistake. Raph is muted.
Anyway, like I was saying, just make it the Will Stein episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we will end up having to do.
I have some venting I want to do first, but yeah.
I think we cut the show in half, right? So we be very upset about the basketball game. In the back half, we do Will Stein. That way I can also edit it and upload it separately, and we double dip. The Catican always wins.
So 2 hours of basketball, 2 hours of football.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Strap in, folks.
Ben, Caleb, how you feel about the game?
Not great. I mean, not a ton of positives to take away. I thought Moreno improved again. I mean, held his own against everyone but Visar. I thought. I mean, it's tough, man. It's. I mean, to some extent, it's like, okay, we've got 3 guys out, 3 starters out, and that's going to hurt anybody. But at the same time, I don't care how many guys you have out, you can't go 11 minutes without scoring.
Yeah.
And you can't go 11 minutes without scoring without calling a timeout.
Was it without scoring or was it without a field goal?
Oh, right. It was without a field goal. We were hitting free throws, but like that is not a meaningful distinction.
Grasping at straws here.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad about it. My trying to will BG into existence has failed. The positive that I will take away from this game, even though, I mean, it's rock bottom, hopefully, right? Like, we look terrible. But Mark Pope, he didn't seem like he needed to go to therapy instead of a post-game conference. So maybe that doesn't infect the team like it felt like it did the first 2 losses. I don't really feel great about Gonzaga, but maybe we have Low, maybe we have Mo.
I mean, I think there were some like decent defensive takeaways, to the extent there's any bright side at all. The defense looked interesting and good and legitimately difficult at times for North Carolina to get across the timeline. Like that's important. That's something that we were begging for last season. That's something that we haven't really seen against other good teams this season. So we prevented a blowout, but again, 10 minutes without a field goal, it's really, really challenging to win those games. We're only still in it because we kept North Carolina from scoring a ton in that period too.
The thing is that normally, like because I want to say that the defense was better, and it was, but for us to have hired the offensive coach to go 10 minutes without a field goal is inexcusable. And I'm a Pope defender to my core. There's just no defending that. It's really bad. And
you are pretty invested in Pope success.
Yeah,
on the Catican.
I think that maybe there was a portion of that YouTube video title that got cut off, like offense like a video game whose controller you set down and walked away and forgot to pause.
Oh no.
I mean, it was difficult to watch. It's frustrating in a way that I haven't been specifically frustrated in a long time.
It did feel like we had firm control over it, and I was sort of just like already like playing in my head like, okay, good, we got that offer back. We finally beat a marquee opponent. And then Denzel Aberdeen just starts taking the worst shots that I've ever seen. And why are we doing that? And when we have this long drought and we call a timeout and then Jasper comes in, it's not much better. But clearly he's saying that Denzel's not playing within the team himself, but we don't have any better options. I wonder if you're going to make the decision to take Aberdeen out, why aren't you calling a timeout when we're going through this crazy drought? I guess hindsight's 2020, but I mean, come on. Like, you're right there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of weird things. Go ahead.
Would a timeout have done anything? That last play that UNC got the pick and roll bucket on, that was out of a timeout, our defense, and it was just the same exact kind of stuff we got beat on last year, time after time after time. Like the most basic of basketball plays. And I think it was Moreno that just blew it on the pick and roll, easy layup. So other than that, the defense was encouraging, but can't have that at the end.
Yeah. I felt like Mark Pope got out-coached by Hubert Davis pretty significantly. Whether it be the lineup, the first half, it's like he platoons these huge substitutions, and it's like we need to develop Jasper, obviously, because we need some kind of shooting threat. He can't just be a 5-minute guy a game or we're not going to be good. So, but you can't develop him either whenever he's out there with plus minus destroyer Brandon Garrison. He had 2 beautiful would-be assists that hit Brandon Garrison in the mouth.
Sometimes you have those statistics where someone said, if I told you this before the game, you never would have guessed the outcome. A statistic from this game that absolutely I would have guessed the outcome is Brandon Garrison hit 100% of our threes. Absolutely, I know how that one ended. That's awful. I mean, thank God he hit one, but it's just we've had games where we've shot poorly, but we've shot a lot. And we're approaching that 30% target or that 30 shot target number. And the percentage was a little below average, but on volume, it helped. Here we only shot 13, and I don't think anyone was really clamoring for more. I mean, it was just everything was just out of sorts. It was bizarre.
They also there were so many offensive possessions where it was like somebody would finally get some lane, and it would be either Aberdeen, Collin, or Oweh, and they would make beautiful moves to the rim. And it's just do this because they're giving it to you, because they're taking away the three. And that will open up the rest of it. But it's like these things that seem almost simple aren't happening. And I don't know if it's we just don't have that person on the, because it feels to me like if there isn't a player coach on the court, our offense looks like dog shit. Happened last year. It's happening again this year without Lowe. And I don't think Oweh's outspoken enough to be that person. I don't think Collin maybe could do it, but he almost feels like the guy who has to fill in every gap and play 3 different positions because he's the only one, I guess, that knows the system enough to do it. But so he doesn't really have time to coach or something. I don't know. But last year we had Carr, we had Butler, and this year there's nothing. And there's also like the sideline. When you're losing, especially, it's like I want to see something off of the bench. Like Mark Pope, I'll rip the refs, yell, go, something.
You'll fight.
They weren't going.
This is one of those games, and I always hated this strategy. I always thought this was bullshit. Like, no way this ever helps. Insane move. Why would you do it? This sucks. Cal would have gotten ejected, and they would have gone, in the middle of that 10-minute stretch without a field goal. Cal gets ejected. Somebody kicks their ass. They get moving.
Yeah.
Not that I think Pope's going to do that, and I was frustrated every time Cal did it. But when the statistic comes up, I think it was at like 8 minutes, or it may have been 10 minutes. I don't know. But longest drought in at least the last 8 years. Like, we've looked back as far as we can, and we can't find a drought this long for this team. You just got to do something. You can't just sit there and let it keep going.
Also,
Otega played pretty good.
Yeah, and Yelovich did too. I think maybe one positive that will come out of this game is maybe they will realize if we're not playing against 2 bigs, right, like a 6'11" and a 7-footer, we don't need Brandon Garrison on the court ever because Yelovich just got his feet under him.
BG got 9 minutes with no Mo and no JQ. He's not going to see the court in a month, presuming those guys are both healthy and back.
Yeah.
Which means we might not make threes anymore.
That's yeah.
We did bring it up on their earlier Peanut Butter Posse, noted it as well. Pope got outcoached by Hubert Davis, which is not reassuring because the bag on Hubert Davis is that he is in fact not a very good coach. And they seemed to do a simple strategy on defense, which was every time Collin Chandler got the ball at the line, they would trap him and double him, which is a pretty good idea because Collin doesn't have the strongest handle. And we would start panicking and we just couldn't get good shots. And they just kept running us off the line and then doubling Collin, and we would do nothing with it. I worry, what are we going to do? You don't think Rick Pitino saw that? You don't think Rick Pitino's thought of that? Like, St. John's is going to do something crazy to us on defense. And for him being the offense coach, I was disappointed that we didn't have a good counterpunch to that. Because you want to build in these wrinkles.
I haven't seen very many actions, like, variety-wise. Like, it's the same thing. The backdoor thing works against almost D2 teams. Doesn't work. I don't know, man. But then also we're not getting the ball across the court until like 8 to 10 seconds in the shot clock, and then they get there and then they're hesitating, and it gives the defense time to set up and crowd and whatever and knock any kind of pace or rhythm out. And so like we're dependent on rhythm, especially when we're out guys.
That runs counter to Pope's battle of attrition method too, where he wants to keep sub and keep fresh legs, tire out the team. Well, you're giving them 8 seconds to catch their breath as they get back on defense.
Yeah.
Push the ball. Let's get going.
Yeah.
I know we don't have the dribblers, but like go.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
I was yelling, I was calling it all night last night. Just go. What are you doing?
I was also, Troll Spivey mentioned this in the chat as well. Says, wonder if any of Pope's non-negotiables had anything to do with rebounding. Rebounding was tough.
Rebounding was tough, but also that's one thing that North Carolina is known to be very good at this season. Yeah. I mean, that should have been a point of emphasis, sure, but like, man, out rebounded against excellent rebounding team, not a huge shock. It was a shock. I mean, the extent was kind of bad when UNC at some point had as many offensive rebounds as we had rebounds total. And obviously them getting second and third chances was incredibly annoying.
Yeah.
Especially for us playing as well as we did on defense, to just give up the offensive rebound and then we got to do it all over again is not great.
And what killed me too is I still thought we were going to win. We were leading most, like all the way up, like everything was just trash.
We were shooting 52%, like
still leading. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, well, we're at the end of the game. I haven't seen like a good inbounds play this season. So is Hubert Davis about to cook Mark Pope in this final 90 seconds of the game? And he did.
Peanut Butter Posse is going hog wild in the chat. I can't show half of these.
I do agree with his point that Collin Chandler should shave his fro. No more fros for Collin Chandler.
Yeah. Does somebody have a Poly D blowout on the team? And I haven't registered it.
No.
Cody Feger, maybe?
No. AFEO says we can't shoot. BG hitting the only three is mind blowing. I'm wondering if chemistry issues are actually happening. They play me ball. The vibes are just off with the team. Vibes are just off. I didn't think this would have to be a worry with Zen Master, good vibes, Coach Pope, but the vibes are bad. I remember we went to the Champions Classic last year, and we rarely talk about that. But when we were at the Champions Classic, we saw Kansas. While Kansas was one of the top-ranked teams, they may have been one, and we saw it in person, and we were like, vibes completely off with this team. This team might stink. And we were ultimately true. That's the same vibe that I get from watching this year's team, which doesn't feel good about the long-term prospects of how this season is going to go.
I also, why are we not playing Braden Hawthorne? We need
I'm very pro Braden Hawthorne, so I want to see it, but I'm curious whether it's his decision, like doesn't want to burn a year, whether it's Pope's decision, we want you around for more years after that, whether it's Pope's decision, we don't know that you're physically capable of playing in these. I mean, I don't know, but I'm ready to see him. But again, that seems like one of the things, like break glass in case of 11 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, he's so, freakishly athletic that you could just manufacture some points with putting him and Cam on the court at the same time. It's just like something. Because we have good shooters. They don't shoot it. Our bad shooters shoot it too much.
And airball it still so much.
Yeah, the air balls are crazy because it's not even the bad shooters airballing it necessarily. Aberdeen, for being a 35% three-point shooter, has airballed more threes than any person I've ever seen. Collin airballs them sometimes. I mean, it just makes no sense.
Yeah. The airballs always seem to come off of like a weird flow thing where it's like calling off the dribble or something. That should not be. Needs to go off of a shot fake or a catch and shoot or something. I don't know.
One narrative I've seen a ton about the hero ball is I saw someone say earlier that Jasper Johnson's playing OTE ball, and I do think that he needs to improve his decision making some. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that every time he gets the ball, he's necessarily going to take a shot. He has very marginally behind low in assist rate, but tying Butler from last year better than Amari from last year assist rate. Like he is facilitating all right. Definitely, I think that there are some maybe high profile, ugly, bad decision making moments he has that cause people to take away from this that he is really selfish with the ball, and he may be making selfish decisions other times, but he also, he's assisting at a very high rate. That's good. We want more of that.
Why is he on the court with Noah and BG though? Like exclusively. Noah, he's not hitting his threes even a little bit. Like, what is he this year? But 12% 3-point shooter or something?
Well, he's 48%, but
from 3,
8 for 17.
Wow.
Boogeyman has an interesting take here. This team seems to mimic Pope, where they're just so nonchalant when things aren't going well. We need someone to keep the energy up and bring the fire always. It's a great point. It would go a long way if it seemed like we had some players who cared, but it's like we keep saying the vibe around the team is they're just kind of going through it. If we had somebody just to fire them up, I might show my UNC status here, but I think it was Keith Bogan's senior year. I believe so. We were in the conference play. It seemed like a so-so season at that point. We were losing at halftime to Vandy. And then we come out of halftime that game, and that team just starts playing on fire. And it was just a switch flipped, and they went on a run. I don't think they lost to a game the rest of the season up to the Elite Eight. And they were a number 1 seed. If you just had a few players just actually seem like they gave a damn, I think we'd start playing well, but at the very least, I think the fan base would feel better about it.
Looking at the roster, it just doesn't look, unless it's Mo D, there's not a rah-rah vocal guy.
I don't even think he's vocal, though.
I guess he's tough, which I'm hoping to translate to being in your face and all that. But he's also injured.
What happened to motivation?
Great point.
Hey, one second. I got something. I don't know what after sound is. What is that?
I don't know. Basketball, sad. If something doesn't change drastically, we're going to get walloped by Gonzaga. And at that point, you're 5-4, and that is rough. That's so rough. We can't go into conference play 500.
Is it true Pope has a negative sub 50% winning percentage against Power 5 teams as a Kentucky Wildcats coach?
I thought it was 5 points.
It's
shout out Lando. He gave me that stat yesterday.
Yeah, that's a skewed stat though, because last year we played an all-time great SEC, because he was trying to say like even Billy G had a better record against Power 5 teams. We were playing a dog shit SEC then.
Somebody shared something today that was like Kentucky against their last 7 Power Conference teams, and it was obviously the 3 this year, which includes 2 KenPom top 10 teams, and then last year that was KenPom 5 Tennessee, KenPom 6 Alabama, KenPom 4 Auburn, KenPom 6 Alabama. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know that we're necessarily.
Yeah, they're taking career stats.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it's not like you just can't say that that's. Oh, look, he's losing to these Power Conference teams. He's losing to great teams. Not that I think UNC this year is great, but
that was the most frustrating.
We don't know yet.
They also shit.
You know,
agreed.
That's one out I'll give them is we don't know. Like, what if UNC is really good? Like we're not even 10 games into the season yet.
I feel like that game was a reason. It's like if NBA only watchers are like, I don't watch college basketball, it's trash. They play that game for you.
Yeah. Hate a rock fight, man. They're the worst. And do we even mention the refs? I don't feel like I want to blame the refs, but I feel like the refs had a lot to do with us not being able to catch a flow. I don't know. Should have been able to.
I don't think that was our biggest issue. I think maybe a couple of things change, we win, but I'd feel better had we won. But if we win this game 65-64, I don't feel a whole lot better. I don't feel better with that 10 or 11 minute gap. I could maybe hang my hat on the defensive improvement a little more. Be really excited about that. And I legitimately think that was good. I thought some of the zone stuff worked really well. It really, really looked like it caused problems for UNC for a while. And sometimes they beat it and had an easy basket, but it really, they struggled. So that looked nice, but man, it's just.
Apparently, sorry, you can finish.
Especially coming off the offensive, and like I more than anyone have bitched about playing these sub Ken Palm 300 teams, but the offensive game we had against Texas Tech or Tennessee Tech, it's like I feel like we were putting it together, and that's I think why it feels like Noah's missed everything this season. Like I said, he's 47%, 8 for 17. When did those come? 4 for 5 against Tennessee Tech, 2 for 4 against Loyola Maryland, 2 for 5 against Eastern Illinois. Didn't play against Louisville, didn't take a 3 against Michigan State, and 0 for 1 against UNC. That's why it feels like he's not making anything. Because it's
garbage time.
Garbage game.
Yeah.
Bum slayer.
An amazing hill topper. I'll say that. He would be a really, really good hill topper.
So I did say we don't know if UNC is good yet. Apparently we do. Peanut Butter Posse, getting pressed. Did you watch that game? That was an NIT matchup. UNC was trash. We couldn't take advantage. So we do now, apparently. 10 games in the year. We know how their season's going to turn out. So
I feel like UNC is bad.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. Yeah.
I'm not going to admit that, though, because then that means we're worse. Like, I want to say Hubert Davis still is a bad coach, but then he just outcoached our guy. So I'm not.
Hubert Davis, gullible per Jack Pilgrim. I'm not sure how to say it nicely.
Oh, Boogeyman. Refs are also terrible on top of the team being terrible. Everyone we had was stopped by a bad foul call, and we got nothing. We didn't lose because of the refs, but they did us no favors. Good call.
I will say, I don't know what it is. This was an issue last year. It's been an issue this year in our games. Not to complain about the refs, like I said, many other issues. Pope's teams get terrible, terrible whistles. It's unbelievable.
Because he doesn't harass the refs.
Yeah, but like
they should like us more.
There's got to be more to it than that. I countless drives last year where Travis Perry is getting ragdolled into the first row, can't even get back on defense because he's climbing over chairs to get back onto the court. No call ever. Noah, terrible whistle. Chandler, terrible whistle. I don't know. Our free throws shot statistic is super low. As a percentage of our,
I don't know.
We're sub 300 in free throws taken per field goal taken, and it's not that we're not driving the ball. Like I could see if we only were a 3-point shooting team, not getting to the line, but I don't think that's it. We drive quite a bit. We just don't ever get calls.
We are coming up on 30 minutes of being sad. Can I inject some hopium into the show now? Okay. We were down 3 starters right off the bat. Every team that we've lost to, you could at least make the case that they're at the very worst a tournament team. I know we all want to say UNC stinks, but we've seen very mid marquee teams still make the tournament. I don't think we have a bad loss yet. And Jalen Lowe probably coming back. JQ, he's on his way. I think we win last night's game if we have JQ. I feel like that would have solved a lot of
we win if we have Mo because we get some. Though we don't give up
as
30,
many at least.
Yeah, 30 freaking second chance points or whatever it ended up being.
I would feel much more down about, especially the loss last night and our other losses, if we didn't have reinforcements coming in. But we do. So, catch me in like a month and a half. We'll see how the team looks then. If we don't make the tournament, I'm gonna be mad. Like I stick up for Pope, but this is Kentucky. I'm gonna do the meme. This is Kentucky. You make the tournament at Kentucky. You have to try not to make it. I'm not saying we should fire Pope. I think anybody saying like that we should fire Pope right now. I think like, hey,
if we miss the tournament, they should fire Pope.
Okay. Yeah.
$22 million. That's
Caleb's doing a 22 million meme, guys.
That's brutal to miss the tournament. And the SEC's not even good this year. We're like, I think that the SEC loss is like way down on the ACC challenge. I don't know. If we miss the tournament, I don't know. Dusty May, come on down, please.
We're gonna need a new podcast name if we don't make the tournament.
Yeah.
We got a good conspiracy theory, fellas. Vegas bringing down the odds just for UK to come roaring back. Arkansas did it last year. Love that take.
That's true.
That's true. I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more basketball takes before we get excited about football?
I want to see more back to the basket jelly.
Yes.
Especially when we're not scoring field goals for 10 straight minutes, and it was working in the first half.
And he hits those like 7-footers like every time. And it feels like we haven't had a dude that can do that in so long.
Patterson?
Yeah. It's just like, it's so European. And I love it. And it feels like a cheat code. Why are we not taking advantage of that?
Boogeyman, a good take here. I'm sensing a trend. I said it in the court. I'll say it here. We fire Pope this year and we'll be the new Penn State football program.
It's like the worst thing it's said.
I mean, I hope we don't have to. But if we miss a tournament, I'm a sunshine pumping MFer, but I will be pretty down.
Here's my ruling on the Yelovich long two debate. He's 4 for 9. Oweh's 4 for 21. So I'll take him from Yelovich.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about the long twos either. I'm talking about the like
over the shoulder.
Yeah, well, I think this considers anything like just off the rim that isn't a dunk to be a long two, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We should not play Brandon Garrison anymore.
Right.
Our starting unit was +7. Brandon Garrison's unit was -7 at the half. All of that's disheartening as shit. When the guys who come in to give you a break for 5 minutes lose all of your progress. Yuck. Can't play him. Pretend he's injured.
Peanut Butter Posse says JQ isn't an offensive threat.
When
you watch Brandon Garrison and you watch Malachi Moreno, I will take a JQ over that. Also, JQ is a very good rebounder. So we have somebody who's a better offensive rebounding threat, and our offense has second opportunities. That, by its very nature, makes that person an offensive threat.
JQ will score so many points, and it will not feel like he did.
And I don't think that layup goes off last night over Jane Quaintance.
No.
At the very least, defenses have to play around him. It unlocks so many new possibilities for this team, having him out there. I'm not saying he's like a 30 per game guy. He's probably not even a 20 per game guy, but he is a superstar that's just waiting in the wings right now.
If he played for Purdue, he'd be a 25 per game type of guy.
Yeah. A couple more basketball thoughts. Think back to the Purdue game. Much more movement, alive players, shots draining. They didn't forget how to play. The offensive movement is key. Yeah. Need an injection of some energy.
Yep.
Anyone know Coach K's record for the first 6 years of his coaching career? How about Dan Hurley at Rhode Island? Even took Dan Hurley a little while to get it going at UConn.
Has Pope only been coaching for 6 seasons?
Yeah.
Goes against my narrative.
How about, though, let's see, where is it? Lots of people overreacting, talking about potential other coaches. Nate Oates is a common name thrown around. Nate Oates, first year at Alabama, 16-15. That's with some NBA talent. That's with some G League talent. It's not like, I mean, he didn't come in and have a bare cupboard. He had actually a pretty good team that year.
Okay, so that pushes back against the this is Kentucky thing, because those teams probably had more NBA talent than even this team does.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he had all defense. Herb Jones. He had.
But then you're like, why did you spend $22 million with no NBA talent?
But about back to the Nate Oates, you were saying
he sucks.
Well, he had 14 losses his second season there. I mean, I think Nate Oates is great.
What is Nate Oates' pre-divorce, post-divorce record?
Ask him the real questions.
That's a good question. That makes it better.
Did he go through the divorce? Was that before the Final Four, or was it after or during?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
After or during? During would be interesting.
That would be insane, actually. Yeah.
He should just get engaged like every Christmas and then break it off right before the tournament.
So Lane Kiffin. Football.
Yeah. Peanut butter pasta. He came around. I'm not putting this on Pope. He'll learn from this season. If we run out one of our own, nobody will want this job. Fair take.
Wrong. I feel like people are wrong with this job.
All right, so switching on a dime.
I'm down for football talk though.
Yeah. All right, so big news over the weekend. Kentucky fires Mark Stoops. Do we want to do our quick Mark Stoops eulogy before moving on to the exciting part? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll always be appreciative to Mark Stoops. I remember how excited I was when he got hired. It started off kind of shaky, and then he gave us probably the best stretch of football in school history. I do appreciate that. Wish he had kind of left for the Texas A&M job, or maybe around that time. Then we're talking probably statue territory. Ultimately, it had just kind of run its course. Eventually just need a new voice in the locker room. I do appreciate his time. Didn't appreciate so much time.
I'll say I appreciated that he let us off easy with this buyout payment schedule. He didn't have to do that. I mean, he could have said, bring it on, Mitch, 60 days. And he didn't. Playing ball there is real helpful. He had kind of a classy sign-off email or post, whatever, that I thought was really nice. I appreciate that. I think he raised both the floor and the ceiling of the program. I mean, it changed our expectations for what we and what we think is acceptable as a program. Even if we thought in these latter years what he was providing wasn't acceptable. I mean, it did, I think, sort of change our perception. And it put us in a position where we had a very easy, non-dramatic coaching carousel in a kind of crazy year where we were able to identify two targets, both of whom seemed interested, both of whom are high-profile, interesting guys that we were excited about. And we landed one in 24 hours who seems thrilled to be here. So that's great. I mean, the carousel moment for us couldn't have gone better, and that was a real worry of mine.
Yeah, my feelings toward Mark Stoops in the past 3-4 years or whatever have soured. And it is not his fault. It is Mitch Barnhart's fault. The guy just makes terrible contracts. And there was no easy way out of this. And it's not like people are like, oh, they're going to run this. They're going to get a new coach. They're going to run him off. They're going to get a new coach. These national people that don't know what they're talking about, Stoops was the longest tenured SEC coach. We don't run people off for football. Our expectations are different. I feel like we do have an attractive job, especially as we go into these super conference, whatever type of things. We have a weird, like we have an exploitable recruiting advantage with the Midwest in the SEC because of location. Yeah. And it's just going to take the right person to come in and do it. And I think changing the guard was necessary. I also think it's going to be hard for us ever to be at the top of the SEC. Offensive football is more fun to watch when you're 7-5. So
I will say it wasn't that long ago where when we were under Rich Brooks, we were pumped to get 6 wins. Like we were pumped to go to the Music City Bowl. Mm-hmm. And Stoops did well enough to where our expectations reached beyond that, where people got restless. So I think that says a lot to the good that he did here, that the second that he stopped making bowl games, we were like, get out. So I think that says a lot to his success.
At some point over the beginning of this week, I said on Discord, perhaps the biggest gift he gave us was raising the floor and showing what was possible with a 10-win season, even in a easier SEC East, while still maintaining some obvious incompetence in certain aspects of coaching to make a young gun like Will Stein say, oh yeah, I can do better than that.
That's exactly what seems like is happening, right? Like,
but if he was busting his ass and doing everything perfectly and still had the results he had, and anyone looked and said, "Man, you just can't win there," that'd be terrible. But that's not what they said. They said, "All right."
It wasn't that long ago. We didn't have enough players on the field while Florida got a game-winning touchdown on us.
Yeah,
he left some stuff out on the field. Like he left some wins out there.
Just kind of a microcosm of that too. And we should have beat Texas. And then it's like we had these 2 good games, these seemingly good games that just fell off completely. And I mean, we have a football program now, and it feels like we didn't have one for however many years before Mark Stoops got here. And we appreciate that. And I don't think it's Mark Stoops' fault that he got a lifetime contract.
I would take it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a lifetime, but it was the contract of a lifetime.
Yeah, it was nuts for the performance he was putting up. I also think we are in a very good position to take advantage of an SEC where there are a bunch of new coaches. And there's going to be kind of a shuffling until people figure out, because some of these coaches are going to work out, some aren't. And it was like we knew what we had with Mark Stoops. If we do well in this next 3 or 4 years, and then Florida has to fire their coach, or Ole Miss has to fire their coach, or whatever, it's like that gives us those 2, 3, 4 extra wins. That's all you really need to make the playoffs now. And if we make the playoffs, we're building a statue of Will Stein immediately, like
a big old hog on it.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is with Will Stein, like we all kind of know this, like we hang out in the stranger corners of the internet, is that the buzz on Will Stein was that he had reached out to UK. Yeah. I feel like we can just sort of talk about this more openly now. And we knew about that a little while ago. And how great is it to have the cool coaches or the fun ones into us for a change? The fact that he sought us out and that Heartline really wanted it. Like,
yeah,
that is it's strange times we're living in, to where because Will Stein's his stock may never be higher than it is right now.
Right.
So he's going to come in here with the Oregon branding and the like. I run the cool offense, and I'm in the playoffs. Like, come, play this cool brand of football in the SEC. Like, we might be able to put together a pretty sick roster for next year. I don't know if that's going to translate to more wins because the schedule is a lot tougher next year, but you don't know until you know.
The schedule is brutal. The schedule is really tough. And I think presumably people know that. Like, you can just look at it now and know this is going to be difficult to build up a ton of wins in. And I trust people will appreciate that. Hopefully we have some fun football to watch regardless of record. That seems unlikely. But I think maybe a grace period is fair given what he has to go up against next year in year one. But man, if he can steal a couple, that'll be awesome.
It should also
press
be
conference,
fun.
Great.
It should be fun. If we're gonna lose, score some points.
That was the problem, is that we were losing and we were incredibly dull.
Yeah.
Did we score against, it was Vanderbilt and Louisville, right, to end the season? Did we score in those games? I know we went 41-0 Louisville.
I think we did score on Vandy, didn't we?
Yeah.
There we go.
Did we miss the extra point? Was this? Yeah, I don't remember.
But Stein's stepping into a situation not too dissimilar from the one Mark Pope stepped into. The old coach that everyone loved kind of faltered on the way out, has to build a new team with a really hard schedule coming up. He'll get a good runway of leniency from the fans. And I think his year two will go better than Pope's has so far.
And if it doesn't, I'll be right there to stick up for him.
I'll be right there trying to take down his huge bulge statue.
We did score 17 against Vandy.
There we go.
But
Bring back
14 of them came in garbage time. So at some point the score was 45-3.
And it may not have been on TV. We got taken off TV in a football game against Vanderbilt.
Brutal.
I don't even know what we got bumped for. I swear if it was like a MyPillow ad or like a catheter infomercial, that would actually be awesome.
He also seems like not very much drama. Ooh, knock on wood. He's a handsome young dude. You got Todd Goonan running around Florida, whatever. Whatever. But he seems like a pretty mentally stable guy for the SEC coaching environment, right? Like, it's not. We don't got, what is the Liberty's old coach that Auburn just fired?
Hugh Freeze
on pontoon boats with whatever, or Lane Kiffin or whatever. It's like maybe some mental like stability in the program, but still energetic. It could play well in the SEC because SEC is full of degenerates. And Stoops
wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Can we talk about? I don't know if it's out. I think it is the quarterback rumors for next year.
I mean, just like logically, you look at Oregon's backups. You look at recruits that he's been part of recruiting. Novosad looks like a maybe. Yeah. I think it really depends on if Dante Moore goes to the league, or because Oregon could get JKS from Cal,
right? Because the rumor was JKS for a while.
Yeah, which would be,
it'd be cool. It seems. I'd love it. Like if that's the kind of guy that we can pull with, quarterbacks have faith in our coach. Great. Seems like he'd aim higher.
Yeah, but we might get an influx of some NIL money.
That's one thing. There was a huge deal made in Lane Kiffin's very public, very dramatic will he, won't he? Is it going to be Florida? Is it going to be LSU? Is it going to be Ole Miss? Where all of the reporting was on, not necessarily his salary. The salary is one thing, which he famously said he doesn't know, but how much is going to be allocated for roster building? And it's $25 million or something from each of those schools. I think they all ended up in the same place. And I haven't heard any number from our side here what we're going to be able to give Stein to build a roster with. And JMI is going to be a factor in that. I think this will be a real test of how well that relationship and this contract is going to work. I don't know. I'm optimistic we can get a lot of money. I think that this will excite people. I think that to the extent we have a place to donate that will affect NIL, we will get those donations, but I don't know where that is right now. So
I know Stoops had a lot of his own, and they weren't Kentucky boosters necessarily. They were Mark Stoops boosters. I haven't heard anything about if those people are staying or going or what their deal is. But it does sound like the Crafts were definitely on board with the Stoops ouster. So that's having them still in our back pocket, obviously, enormously huge.
We have some pretty good boosters if we have a basketball budget that we have, because
so the rules have changed though since we did the basketball thing, which is why I think this year will be such a big, interesting year. And I don't know that basketball, and at this point, who knows who all will be returning, but I've been saying I don't know how good of an indicator basketball is going to be for the long-term health of our NIL, rev share, roster building budget. Because, conceivably we have all these guys returning. There isn't a ton of room to fill. Recruiting will be difficult for reasons other than financial. But with football, it seems like this might be a good indicator right off the bat of where do we stand relative to some of these schools that have made different decisions than we have with our money, or structures around the money, or are prioritizing football in a way that we aren't.
I don't know if you saw today, they asked Mitch about the NIL money and the JMI deal. Did you see that?
No, I saw that they did. I didn't know I didn't see it.
He got kind of pissed, and he was kind of giving it back like, we have the money, and basically was just like, and stop asking.
Yeah. So does that mean we have a lot of money, or does it mean we don't need a lot of money? Because he needs to be fired tomorrow if we don't need that much money.
He closed that sentence about we don't need money with we have good people doing things the right way. That's nice, but that's not what I want to hear from my AD after a new hire. I want to hear like, we're going to go win some games. We're going to do what it takes to go out and become the team that the fans want. Not we have good people doing good things.
He's got an expiration date. It's coming up this year or in the next year. So he's going to be gone.
It's whenever the indictment comes. It's also in that same rant, he says, and we're going to follow the rules. Hey, I don't want to hear that from my AD. Okay. If we need to cut some corners, let's cut some corners. I want to win some games.
What are you talking about? Follow the rule. Give car lots, give somebody $1 million. Like,
you think they're doing that in Knoxville? Not a chance.
No.
You think they're doing that in Tuscaloosa? Ben knows. Not a chance.
BYU's doing it?
No way.
Speaking of down in Knoxville not wanting to follow the rules, I saw the Tennessee Attorney General's trying to sue all the conferences for that participation agreement, which is in lieu of any action from Congress. All the conferences were going to have all of their schools sign under threat of conference expulsion an agreement essentially saying we agree to at least follow the House settlement rules. And so the Tennessee Attorney General, Tennessee never wanting to follow these rules, is going to sue to try and prevent that from happening.
These millennials and their participation agreements.
Yep.
I don't know what that means. So what's the SAFE Act? Is that what it is?
Well, so there are two. The SCORE Act, I think, is the one that had more traction, but I think that they decided to pull that today. both of them essentially the purpose is to codify some of the provisions of the House settlement into federal law, which make it so a state can't have a separate law that applies. I mean, it can apply too if it's more strict, but it can't let them get around the House settlement rules. Like for example, Tennessee's legislature passed something last year saying that actually NIL deals are private and they don't have to reveal that information to anyone, certainly not the CSC, for review for deals over $600. And that's just not workable, right? Like you can't have states passing laws that essentially exempt their schools and the players of those schools from the rules that apply to everybody else. So you either need all of the schools to agree, like, yes, we're going to take this seriously, or you need a federal law that overrides all of the contrary state laws.
I don't know where I land on that, depending on if Bashir is willing to pass the laws that cut around it, and then I can be very much so against that.
That's fair. But so the speculation, and I don't know that I think the sky is falling as much as some others do, but the speculation is that Mitch made this deal with JMI, which includes significantly blowing up our collective because he thought bills like this would pass, making collectives obsolete. And so if these bills aren't passing and that doesn't happen, perhaps we're not in a good spot because we no longer have a collective.
And is there a way for us to get the collective stuff back, or are we just SOL?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, if it turns out these aren't going to pass, I'm sure we can create a new collective and go back to doing that.
La Familia will be back.
Mitch Barnhart sucks.
If his prior history shows anything, he might have signed a contract that he's going to be stuck in with laws. So
that is great having to pay buyouts for soccer coaches and shit.
The good news is the JMI deal was only an extension through 2040. So by the time that's over and some of us are dead, maybe we'll be able to start winning ball games.
JMI means just Mitch in a trench coat. And that's all. I think it's a racket.
That's breaking the rules.
Yep. So we got to dissolve JMI. Institutions do not exist anymore. We do not have validity in our institutions. We don't need all this stuff. Go to sleep, buddy.
You can always tell when an episode of the Catican goes too long when we start getting these types of rants from Caleb in it.
You can't. I don't care about your moral, whatever. He's like a lawyer kid, like Ben. He's a mod on Discord.
Yep.
Mitch the mod. I'm rebranding my account tonight.
All mods are bastards.
Oh man, Caleb ended on a heater. Let's go. I think we're all caught up. Do we have any Gonzaga predictions, or is that going to get too depressing?
I'm gonna not think about that one.
I haven't thought about it yet. I do think Gonzaga is built a little bit more like Purdue was, to where we could show out because we have athletic advantage there. But also, we just look like dog shit. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna win or not. I do. The whole point of sports is sure, like winning is awesome, but a lot of it is just hope. Like that's the fun, and just imagining like
hating on other teams.
Yeah. So just imagine how sick it would be if we did beat Gonzaga. Like we'd be all the way back.
Cool.
So that's where I'm going to be living until Friday.
Have we heard anything on Lowe's shoulder since last night, I guess? As far as will he play Friday?
I haven't heard anything.
Have we not seen him?
I haven't seen him. I think that he should be pretty well. To either he goes or they need to lock him up for the season, right? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. The shoulder thing is weird.
I feel like he was raising his arms and everything during.
Yeah, he also was a lefty.
Yeah,
you don't got to shoot with it.
So we're at the point where we just need him. We just need him out there.
Yeah, and it's pain management too. It's not. I mean, how much did he get paid to be here? You know what I mean? My chair is hard at work.
My collar is blue.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, it's pain tolerance.
Any other thoughts on Gonzaga, or do we just prefer not to think about it?
Did their coach end up getting a DUI? Going back to that video where he said, "Do you know who I am?" Did they charge him with a? Did they know who he was?
I think he did get a DUI.
Scouting report this week.
I've been looking at this chat for a while, and I do want to bring it up here. Someone says Richie Farmer needs to not be in the rafters. I'm in awe because we didn't mention Richie Farmer at all, but I do love the discussion. I do want to ask that person why Richie Farmer shouldn't be in the rafters.
Who stole all the printers and computer screens and stuff as Kentucky AG? Was it Richie?
It was Richie.
Okay. Well, I guess
that's actually super based and cool.
Stealing, Catican, all our kid listeners, stealing is cool.
But okay, so I think that's all I got. I'm not going to be able to top JMI is just Mitch in a trench coat. I think that's my favorite thing that's been said on this show.
If you make in a trench coat one word,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It is JMI.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see everybody Friday. Thank you for joining the Catican. For Ben, for Caleb, for Raph, I'm Jared. Go Cats.
Okay.
Go Cats.
Go Stein.